And we're away. Welcome to the Forkman and Champ podcast episode number 9. We're up to number 9 already. Next week, it'll be number 10. How your week been, Champ?
Yeah, it's been all right. Just kind of cruising around, not doing much. Job applications, blah, blah, blah. Same thing as usual. Not back at work yet, but we'll see. Hopefully soonish. How about yourself, Forkman?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been an awesome week. I went down a couple of slides during the week because, as we know, playgrounds have opened back up. So I've been going to a park a day, going down their slides.
Going down the slides. You didn't climb up the slides though, did you, mate? Because that's against the rules. Just down. No up.
Why not up?
Why not up? You fall. Kids always fall and hit their head.
Yeah, hey, especially at Macca's. Kids going up the slides.
Yeah. But the kid goes down and
boom.
Plays them out.
That is probably why they have the do not crime sign right there.
Well, there used to be a water slide at one of the local pools near me. And this is, what they did is they have a little grate on it, like so you lock it overnight at the bottom.
Yeah.
Morning they unlocked the top so people could go down, but they didn't unlock the bottom. They sent like 3 kids through and they were just piling up at the end.
Were they wondering what was happening?
Hmm?
Did they not know no one would come in?
I think it took them a while to work it out because they went 1, 2, lifeguards are usually like 15, 16-year-olds who don't give a shit or know what's going on, so they just kept sending them through. Maybe they thought one of them was stuck, so they just kept sending more through to push it through. But
wow.
One of them was stuck on the grate.
Oh, my God. Now, I reckon on that note, we should get stuck into things.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, because nothing can beat a great story. Pardon the pun. So, not sure about you. So, the other day, I was on a bus the other night, a replacement bus to Cranbourne because they had replacement buses from Dandenong to Cranbourne. So, I got on the bus and I needed to do a poo all of a sudden in the middle of the bus. Right? So it got me thinking, where had been the worst place you've had the urge to poo?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, there's definitely been like ones where like a big ceremony or something and you're sitting at the front. Like
yeah.
a funeral or a wedding or like a graduation or something. And you just kind of have to get up and just kind of waddle across. I mean, a bad one is I could always, whenever I go for a run, as soon as I get about a K&a-half in, I have to like clench my butt and do the last half of the run. Hold it in. Like you always see the marathon ones where like some of them just start pooing themselves.
Yeah.
The time, but I haven't gone that far.
You haven't gone that far. Yeah. Have you ever been in the car on a long drive and showered yourself?
I have not.
I haven't.
The beach is a shocking one actually to get one because especially when you're in the water and you're like, oh, I could just maybe let it go. Oh no, I can't. You always told you're going 2 ways. Like, should I? No way. Or I can't do it.
I had a friend once who actually they had to Macca's and then they shouted himself in the car.
Oh yeah, was it Scott Morrison? You know that rumor that he shouted at Engadine Macca's in New South Wales.
No, it wasn't him. It was another a friend of mine. I'm no friend with ScoMo. I'm friends with.
ScoMo.
I wish I were friends with him.
Well, have you heard that rumor about how ScoMo pooed his pants at Engadine McDonald's?
No, I've never heard that rumor.
Look it up. It's a big conspiracy theory.
We might have to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, wait for him to get on Q&A and then ask him.
No, we'll get him on the podcast and we'll both ask him. So that, but we'll bring it out in different ways. So like I'll ask him a way and then you ask in a different way.
Oh yeah, we'll grill him, mate.
Yeah. Okay, so as you know, from today or from at 11:59 last night. I have no idea why they showed 11:59 p.m. But from last night at 11:59, we can stay over at places, right? At people's places. Like I can stay over at your but like you could stay over at mine. Now it had raised the question in my head: do you still do sleepovers? How old are you?
I'm 25.
I'm almost 30. Do you still do sleepovers at your age? Or do you call it more like...
Are we?
So like, do you still do planned sleepovers, or are they more like you rock up to someone's place, having a couple of drinks? Is it okay if I crush tonight?
Yeah, that's what they've become. Although, yeah, it depends. Sometimes I'll go over there with the intention of crashing. Like if I'll drive and then have a beer. I'm like, I drove, I better stay. That's what my plan was all along.
Okay, but you pretend, oh nah.
I pretend like, oh no, man, I forgot. I'm on my P's. I can't have anything. I better just drive home tomorrow. Oh well.
Oh well, I'll sleep over.
Yeah.
Like, but do you reckon like a 30-year-old or a 25-year-old planning a sleepover with their mates, is that kind of like strange?
Yeah.
I bring you, hey, come over tonight. We're gonna watch Netflix and chill.
Yeah, well, I mean, the connotations of Netflix and chill is if my mate said that, I'd be like, ooh, don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but well, I guess yeah, if they said, oh, come over, we're gonna have a few beers and watch a movie, they're like, whatever, you can crash if you like. So yeah, they just don't call it sleepovers anymore.
Yeah, they don't call them sleepovers anymore, but
but it's the same thing, isn't it? Just with beers.
Yeah, the same thing.
Like the Allen's party mix now, and you just get a beer instead.
Yeah, you have a beer. Hey! Or popcorn? Popcorn, yeah, nay?
Popcorn. Yeah, popcorn's a big sleepover one. Chips. It'd always be pizza or fish and chips as well. You get the best too, mate. You just be fucking all night. So, like 3 in the morning, you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you see like more like males call it crushing the night, but females plan it at a slumber party.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know any females, so I wouldn't know.
I'll get my girlfriend to clarify that one.
They call it slumber parties.
Yeah, they call it slumber.
They have pillow fights and stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall?
No, that'd be creepy. I don't want to go watch sleepovers.
But it would be fun. I've done it before.
Or having a pillow fight.
Oh yeah, hey, so get what? So I've been promoting this, that we're going to have a special guest on today's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome the one, the only, Will Smith to the podcast. Right and true, I believe. Welcome, Will. Welcome, Will. We can't hear you.
I've got you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. All good. I'm like, oh no. Sound.
G'day. How you going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. It's a bit cold in Tassie today, but apart from that, we're going all right.
Awesome. Now, for those of you who don't know, so I know Will from these camps that I volunteer on, Edmund Rice camps. So years ago, this young bloke, volunteer from Tasmania, went on the camp, picked me up from the station in the van because the EO at the time sent him with another one of our volunteers. And I was like, what did this young guy doing driving the bus? And then I found out in Tasmania they had different rules around licensing.
Yeah, that's
So
right. Different licenses here in Tassie.
so he would like full license. And then he introduced himself. Hey, I'm Bill Smith. I was like, no, the guy's having that on. He's taking a K. Turns out his name is actually Will Smith. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry. I get plenty of jokes about it all the time. It's a good icebreaker though. It's definitely a good icebreaker.
Oh, I could imagine a date.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Don't worry. In any introduction setting, it always comes up, and it's. I think it's served me quite well, actually. Pretty much since high school, it's served me well because everyone obviously knows. So it's been a good icebreaker since then.
Now, so recently I heard you on another podcast that you were on, and I heard that in your younger years you lived in a shed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny actually. I've received a few messages about that since that podcast came out. It's interesting that I hope you didn't sit there for the whole hour and listen to that. But
No,
yeah, no, that's right.
I did. I did.
I lived, oh, wow. It would have been a bit of a ramble. No, that's right. So my family's originally from New South Wales and we moved to Tasmania when I was quite young. I was actually born in Tasmania. And then we were back in New South Wales and then back to Tasmania. But yeah, right through up until high school, about 6-7 year period there was a lot of years living in a tin shed in northern Tasmania. So on cold days like it is today at the start of winter, it proved to be an interesting time.
Awesome. So I would. Was there a heater inside the shed? Or
Yeah. So there was a wood heater inside. So it was on a bush block. So we had plenty of wood lying around to able to keep the wood heater going. I actually had a chat with my parents a couple of weeks ago about the experiences back in the shed. And on some winter mornings we would wake up, and my parents still recall there being the condensation up on the tin. We would all sleep in the same area from our breath. That's how cold it would get some nights in there. But I think when you're in there for so long and you're so young, it just becomes a normality. So you don't really think too much of it. But yeah, I think for my parents at the time, they struggled, especially with young kids.
yeah, and you also recently have done something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Like you started your own foundation.
Yes, that's right. JCP Empowering Youth. Very, very proud of it.
Can you tell us a bit about what that is all about?
100%. So JCP Empowering Youth was an avenue for me to be able to really bring into the mix all the programs that I was running over the last 10 years. So as I met you, Corey, in Victoria through Edmund Rice camps, I'd been involved in a number of youth programs over a number of years and trying to make an impact on those programs as much as I could. And I suppose just getting a little bit sick of processes and sick of, thinking that things weren't done my way, not my way, but a way that is a little more productive or a little bit more high impact. I decided to branch out and create, my own company. So JCP Empowering Youth delivers high impact youth programs to young people. And we do that through school seminars, camps, activity days, a high number of volume of programs. So, what we do is quite diverse actually, but we've almost hit our 1 year mark, our 1 year birthday. And I'm really, really proud of what we've achieved in a year. We've done some massive, massive things, and it's been really, really good to have the community get around our work and to really support what we do as well.
Do you have a birthday bus plan, or had those plans been put on the table for now?
I don't have a birthday plan. COVID-19's definitely put a bit of a stringent on a lot of plans that we had. So maybe we'll have an online party. You guys can definitely get an invite to that.
At Zoom party, they've been happening a lot.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm getting sick of Zoom parties though. Zoom's killing me. I just want that human interaction. So it's Zoom. Zoom's becoming the death of me. So if I can try and steer away from it, I'm going to try. Maybe a Facebook Live in the meantime or something. I'm not sure.
or or Teams.
Yeah, well, that's true. Maybe I just need to change my platform.
Yes. So last year I saw this post that you were going to Syria. Is that correct? You went to Syria?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
And
That's
I was
correct.
like, when I saw it, I was like, oh no, he did some kind of joke. But you did actually go to Syria. Can you tell us about what that
Yes.
experience was like?
Yeah, look, that was obviously pretty out there. The experience as a whole was one of the biggest programs I've ever run, or it was the biggest program I've ever run in my life. So the concept was that we wanted to impact some of the most at-risk and vulnerable youth in the world. So that was the concept. And, you know, I'd been following the war in Syria for quite a number of years, and that war's still ongoing today, getting close to 8 years. And it's single-handedly caused one of the biggest refugee crises in the world, especially for European countries. And so Islamic State have a massive impact in the Middle East, and especially in the Syrian war. And a lot of young people are getting hooked up into Islamic State recruitment and negative type behaviours, and they are considered to be the most at-risk youth in the world. And so a lot of young people are leaving Syria as refugees. They're crossing borders, and they're getting lost up in refugee camps and mixed up in situations that are unsafe. And it just was trying on me a lot. So in a very short space of time, I made a plan, created a trip, and I headed off. So I flew over to the Middle East and landed in Lebanon. I travelled up through northern Lebanon into what's called a no-travel area. So the Australian government not only advise but tell you not to go. So I travelled up through the no-go area, and travelled up through the Mishmish Mountains, which is a known area for Islamic State recruitment, and I started to work with Syrian refugees that had been affected by the war there, which was an amazing experience. All up, worked with close to 250 kids. We created 8 soccer teams, and just tried to provide as much positive experience as possible.
Are those teams still playing together, or?
I still have contact with some because, the purpose of the trip was to make sure it was sustainable and not go in and be a one-hit wonder where we provided this experience and everyone went, oh, that was amazing, and then just leave, and then that was it. So I was able to connect really well with a guy called Basil over there. And Basil was he's actually my age, and he's from Syria, was affected by the war, and he's a really, really good soccer player. He was able to continue a lot of the work that I was doing. Unfortunately, due to a lot of unrest in northern Lebanon as well, I lost contact with some of the teams, and I'm just not sure if some of them are still in existence or not, because that contact is just non-existent at the moment. But I still do contact some guys over there, and that work is continuing in some areas, which is really positive and very uplifting as well.
Awesome. Tramp, are you here?
Yeah, sorry, I just got back.
Awesome. So Will, back to the Eddie Rice stuff quickly.
Yes, yeah.
So you were involved in the Fed have a Tasmania and Tasmania police. They did a camp together.
Yeah.
Or do they still do that?
Yeah, that's right. We do, yeah. So the program's been running for about 7 years, and so I joined Tasmania Police in 2013, and very, I suppose at the time, hesitantly approached my supervisor and said that I wanted to use the opportunity to connect Tasmania Police as an organisation with a lot of the at-risk kids that were in our community. You can imagine a young recruit trying to create such a big change in an organisation like that. So it was initially looked upon as not really a joke, but it wasn't looked upon too favourably. And I was just so lucky that my supervisor at the time had a bit of belief in the concept and wanted to jump on board. He said, yeah, let's do it. I think this is going to be a really good idea. And so what we did, in order for our course to graduate from the police academy, we actually partnered up one-on-one with at-risk young people in the community, and we ran a camp for them. And that program now has been running out of the Tasmania Police Academy for about 8 years, which is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I see some of the videos after, like, when their kids find out that their leader buddies have
Yeah,
been.
it's a, yeah, 100%. It's a pretty special experience because the kids actually come on the camp and have no idea that they're connected with police officers. They have no idea that their mentors and partners are members of Tasmania Police. So, what's really powerful about it is right at the end of the camp, the kids get separated from their leaders. They come and sit down, and then the leaders actually march on in front of them dressed in their full ceremonial uniform. And the kids watch these police officers march around at the academy, and they've got no idea that they're their leaders and their buddies. So they're connecting, the dots slowly, and then eventually once they march towards them and they stand there, the look on these kids' faces is absolutely priceless. And I have no doubt in my mind that that program changes so many perceptions, not only of the police, but also for police and at-risk youth. And it also creates so many connections as well. It's a pretty unbelievable program. And it's, to my knowledge, a program to that extent is not run anywhere in Australia to be able to connect one-on-one in a camp basis with police officers, but to my knowledge, anywhere in the world to that extent. It's a very, very unique program.
Yeah, I know one of our guys have been trying to get something similar over here, but hadn't been.
Yeah, that's right. Ryan John is his name. He's a police officer in Victoria. He's actually travelled down a couple of times to the program and been a part of it, and he's definitely trying to kick it off in Victoria, but I'm not sure his success to that so far. It's obviously such a larger organisation and a larger police academy, which logistics-wise would be, quite different.
Yeah, I know he got a couple of his colleagues out to camp one day at the end.
Oh, yeah,
when
cool.
we
That's
went to
brilliant.
science work one day, and a couple of his colleagues met at a science work, and works and actually spoke to the camp.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
I think you were on that camp, yeah, champ.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I think that was funny because all the kids were asking for the police to put the cuffs on them and make it look like they were being arrested and stuff. And the cops like, no, we're not going to do that.
The scenes are actually quite similar in Tassie at the end of the program. So obviously all the kids want to wear the handcuffs, they want to wear the uniform, they go in the back of the divisional band, they get the full experience, which is pretty unique. I think the news cameras really enjoy that last moment of seeing all these kids in the back of a divisional van and tied up and handcuffing the police officers. It's pretty funny actually. It's a good exposure, and it really does break down barriers, breaks down massive barriers.
Mm.
What made you want to become a police officer?
So when I was in high school, actually, the policing were doing a recruitment drive in all the year 10 classes. They had a new program called the Junior Constable program, and it doesn't exist anymore, and probably for good reason. But the program was for year 11 and 12 students, so college students, to come on board and join Tasmania Police, and you could actually go out on the street and work 1 or 2 shifts a week in a response vehicle, so in a police car. And I joined that program, got accepted in it, and I was in that program for 2 years. So whilst I was in college, I was actually working part-time as a junior constable and observer in a response vehicle, which was quite different from working in Macca's or Woolies or what probably an ordinary first job would be. And then from there, I just, got addicted to the adrenaline. I got addicted to the work that they do. Policing is just such a high, intense, job and career path. And I love it. I still love it now. Still employed by Tasmania Police, and I still really, really enjoy, although I don't get a lot of time with them at the moment, I still really enjoy when I do rock up and get to have that positive impact on the community. And there's selfish reasons in there as well, and that is the fact that it's an adrenaline-based job, and I love getting out and about and being active and having a job where everything changes from day to day. You're never ever going to have the same day twice.
Is there somewhere in your career and in your life, what had been the standout moment for you?
Look, there's there's a couple that I draw back on. I was so fortunate in 2017 to make a connection with Netflix. And then so after that connection, I was really fortunate to be able to meet my namesake, Will Smith. And I got flown to America and was involved in some promotions for a Netflix movie, which was pretty amazing. And I spent a week in America. I got to walk the red carpet with Will Smith and a heap of other actors, and I've since met up with him in Sydney. And, you know, I think that connection for me was really important because it gave me an avenue to be able to get some real advice from someone that I looked up to, and to meet a role model in my life, I suppose, that's followed me because of my name the whole time. So, yeah, that was probably one moment that I look back on and think that I've drawn a lot of inspiration from, meeting someone that's had such a big impact on not only his community or his country, but the world in such a positive way. And when you look back on Will Smith, the actor, in career mode, rarely would you find someone who lives such a public life not have any negative aspects that is, you know, talked about or promoted about from him. So yeah, I definitely look up to him as a role model, and I definitely look up to him as someone that I strive to be like through his influence.
Awesome. And I believe he's your on your voicemail when people call you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So obviously marking around a little bit. He recorded the voicemail. So if you call my phone, you do get the real Will Smith. It's actually at the first it was hilarious because people would call up and they'd be like, "Oh my God, we get Will Smith. That's funny as." And then it's actually a curse now because every Friday and Saturday night my phone just continually rings of people that want to hear the voicemail to show off to their friends when they go out drinking or they do something. So yeah, I always answer my phone probably 50% of the time, and people go, "Oh, I didn't want you to answer. I just want to show my mates your voicemail." So yeah, it's a bit of a curse. Like it's a weekly occurrence that I get a text message from someone that says, "Hey, I just want to show my friends your voicemail. Can you not answer, please?" So yeah, it's definitely common. But yeah,
I was going to say, do you know what you might have to do? You might have to buy a second phone and like.
Well, actually, I've got a dual SIM now, so it actually works. So my phone, I can put 2 SIM cards in it and work it from there. But the issue is that everyone's got my first number, and so the dual SIM is irrelevant now unless I try and find a way for Telstra to swap the voicemail over to a special number. I'm not too sure.
That I was going to say that would be like funny, that having like a dedicated phone for
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say 10 years down the track. I'm going to say 5 years, that to be more realistic. Where would you like to see JCP go?
Yep. Oh, that's a big question. So look, I'm actually working at the moment for the first time with a mentor. So we even had a conversation today about creating visions and missions for what we do. So my whole purpose at the moment is that you know, I'm a youth leadership expert. I'm a youth leadership coach and speaker, and that's my drive. That's what I'm passionate about and what I want to do, and that's you know, where I see the next 5 to 10 years going, and that is developing our programs in youth leadership and developing influence in youth leadership and being able to connect with as many young people across the world as possible through the content that we deliver. You know, I'm extremely passionate about what I do. I'm very, very passionate about youth leadership and having a genuine impact on people. And then so that's what it's about for me. So the next 5 years is a complete focus on that. It's a complete focus on building JCP's influence, not only here in Tassie, Australia, but you know, in other countries as well. And how I do that is through implementing really good content through really high impact programs.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And
no problem. That was unrehearsed too, so that slid out quite well.
Yeah, I would like that. Probably one of the best pictures I've had in a long time. So before we leave you, or before you leave us, so as you know, the Logie Awards ain't happening this year.
Yes, that's
due
right.
to COVID. But I've had this wild idea that after the podcast, we're gonna have our own kind of Logie Awards. Haven't got a name for them. Maybe we call them
That's
the
cool.
Will Smith Awards or something.
Yeah.
And but do you have an actor from I'll just say from Australia who you would like to nominate for an award?
Ooh, wow. Does it have to? Yeah, it has to be an actor because it's the
Or
Logies.
actress?
Or actress. That's right.
Or then again, you could
Okay,
do a
that's
hero.
big. Yeah, true. I think actor-wise, trying to think. I don't want to be biased here as well. I hope some of the people that I'm listening to don't, or that would be listening, don't think that I'm trying to. Joel Edgerton probably is one. Like Joel Edgerton is an Australian actor, so he was in the movie that I promoted. Obviously spent some time with him in Hollywood as well. He is an amazing guy, and Sydney too. But he's in a couple of great movies. I love the movie Warrior. He's in Warrior, great movie, love it. So he would definitely be my recommendation.
Awesome. Thank you, Will, for joining us on the podcast.
Thank
where
you
can people
very
find
much for
out
having me.
more about JCP?
Yeah, 100%. So, obviously, as I said, JCP run really high impact youth programs, especially around school seminars. So if anyone wants to get any of our program facilitators, including myself, to your school, business, workplace, wherever it is, to deliver anything around leadership, motivation, self-belief, you can head to www.jcpyouth.com.au.
Thank you for that. Thank you again, Will.
Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.
You too. We'll let you go.
See ya.
Cool. You know how to get out, or do you want me to get you out? Cool. Oh, good. He could. He worked it out. Awesome. So now, champ.
Good interview there, Forkman. Very interesting guest.
Thank you. Will Smith is an awesome bloke, I must say. So now, wanted to talk about your ice cream review, your weekly ice cream review. What kind of ice cream had you had lately?
Did you make the jingle?
I haven't yet. It's coming soon. Oh, why don't we go have ice cream with the champ? You never know what kind of ice cream flavor we're gonna have. It could be, it's not flavored, but then again, it could be Milo. But whatever it is, it's sure to be tasty.
Fantastic. I like that. We'll have to make that up the production value on it a bit, but that's pretty good. Yeah, so this week I thought I'd go with a bit of a classic one. I didn't go for like one of the ice creams on a stick that I did last week. I think last week was the cherry ripe Cadbury, if I'm mistaken. So this week I went pretty conservative and I did connoisseur vanilla ice cream.
Was that tasty?
What? Pardon?
Was that tasty?
Oh, I'll get to it. Are you a big fan of connoisseur?
I can't say I am.
You're not?
No.
Oh, why not? What do you like? You're Peter's man?
But no, I am not a Peter's man.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, it was pretty tasty. Good. Kind of creamy. I think my freezer's a bit too cold, so I might have overfroze it a little bit. But yeah, kind of good kind of almost fluffy texture at points. Very kind of creamy and yeah, really good, solid, rich ice cream. So I'll probably give it probably about 7 ice creams out of 10 is the new rating system.
Okay, 7 ice creams out of 10.
7 ice creams out of 10.
Awesome. Would you recommend it to?
Yeah, I would. It pairs well. It pairs well with cakes, particularly if you're eating like a chocolate cake, or I think in this case it was a Bailey's cake that I was eating. So it pairs well with cakes. By itself, I probably wouldn't recommend it because you want something with a bit more, punch, like something other than vanilla. Usually, who eats just plain vanilla ice cream? It's a bit weird. But if you're pairing it with something, yeah, it's definitely it's definitely good ice cream.
Awesome. So now, Mr. Champ, I reckon it's time to announce our winners, but the time is getting the better of us. We've been going for 35 minutes almost.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah. So we had two entries to the competition our competition last week. They were Darren and Nico, but I decided to add a third because this third person did something really kind. They gave up their spot in the hat because they saw Nico's entry and were like, no, Nico did that too good. Nico's going to win. Right? So I decided to also put Judgment in. But then I was playing with it, toying with it, and I was like, do you know what? We're going to give 3 invites this week again. So, Judgment are going to get an invite.
Beautiful. She'll be wrapped.
Nico are going to get an invite. So congratulations, Nico. You finally have won a prize.
He won the cereal.
Well, an invite to our Macca's. And also to Dan, who ironically put all dead people to come to dinner with him. So now, as always, this week had been an awesome week, hadn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has, Forkman.
Now, do you have any shout-outs you want to make?
Oh, I'll probably just do a quick shout-out to Christina Applegate.
Why that?
Oh, just because.
Any reason? Have you been getting
How
into
about
her?
you?
Have you been getting into her DMs?
No, I have not been messaging Christina Applegate. What about you? Who are you shouting out?
Charlie.
Again.
I haven't done him in a couple of weeks because I've seen him.
Yeah, good. He's got the most shout-outs by far.
I know. We probably should add his name into the podcast somewhere. Forkman, the Champ, and Charlie. Or should we put Charlie's name first? Oh, but anyway, so this week's competition, we need something so they can win into our thing. Oh, I know. We still need your jingle. We need a jingle for your ice cream.
I like your jingle though.
Oh, but no, I reckon we should put it out to the people. Message up on Facebook or comment on the post when I put the post up with your best ice cream jingle for the champ.
Let us know.
Let us know, and you will win an invite to our Max's party where there probably will be ice cream cake.
There will, and we'll review that. We can review that as a panel.
Yeah, we can go around.
Ice creams out of 10.
Do you give this Macca's ice cream cake? I give that 1 ice cream.
1 ice cream out of 10.
So, also, guys, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel below. I believe it is, or is it above?
It's
no, below.
Click the subscribe button below and hit that little bell icon so you don't miss. That's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember, if you enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like and write a comment.
Also, like us on Facebook, just look for Forkman and the Champ. Not hard to miss. Our website is down at the moment due to maintenance.
So the database got hacked.
No, due to maintenance, I'm doing a bit of a background repairs.
Oh, yeah.
But it will be back up hopefully by the end of this week. And also subscribe to our podcast and on Spotify. What is the other one? iTunes. And wherever else you listen to your awesome podcast. Till next time, I've been Forkman. He has been
the Champ. Ciao for now, not forever.
Oh, and I forgot something. Also, we have a Patreon page. You really got to get behind us on Patreon because I've got a plan. If you, between now and Monday, subscribe to our Patreon page. But we need at least one person to subscribe. But if we get 5, all good. If we get at least one person to subscribe to our Patreon page by next podcast, episode number 10, my co-host, being the comedian that he is, will do a skit live on the podcast.
No, wait, you haven't run that by me.
Huh?
Listen, I've told you about this off air.
We'll both do a skit.
I don't think we'll have a Patreon, so whatever. But
Maybe have something pre-prepared, pre-recorded, and send it to me.
no, we'll do improv.
Improv, okay. Awesome. We'll do like the potato, like you pushing a dropping trolley.
Yeah.
Getting
For now, not forever, listeners.
And remember to watch your hands.